That's me. And today is a special day. Today I'm gonna surprise two of my barbers with timepieces. You know, watches. And what's the occasion, you may ask? Well, my barbers both got their barber's licenses. And for these two guys in particular, it's a milestone achievement. And in my world, a milestone achievement needs to be commemorated the right way. Needless to say, I'm quite excited. So I'm on my way to pick up the guys at the shop. They have absolutely no idea what I have planned for them. According to what I told them, they think we're picking up an air compressor for the barbershop. For the last few days, I've been making it seem like the air compressor was going bad on us. So I told them that I found a new one, but I needed help putting all the pieces of it in the car. I mean, right away they should have figured it out, because air compressors like the one we use don't come in pieces. Either way, my plan worked, and I was able to get the guys to take a ride with me to the jewelry store. That's where I had the surprise waiting. So let me take you back to where this whole thing began, and why this event is so meaningful. Flashback, all the way back to March 2020. These two guys had just graduated cosmetology school. After graduation, they were supposed to take their test and become licensed barbers. But the COVID-19 pandemic altered that process. And you guys already know, it was all a disaster. Businesses were closed in New Jersey for months. By the time we all got back to work, the licensing process of these two gentlemen was completely lost. I'm serious, the school that they went to lost their paperwork. And to make matters worse, the New Jersey State Board of Cosmetology was closed, and there was no way to get in contact with them. So while everyone waited for things to resolve, we resumed our lives and resumed our business activities. For months and months, we didn't hear anything from the state or the cosmetology schools. Meanwhile, the two barbers I'm in the car with grew as professionals. They earned income, became independent, and were able to create lives of their own. And as time continued, we forgot about the whole thing. We got comfortable. And before we even knew it, the guys' student permits had already expired. So when inspectors came in and found these guys working without a license or permit, I had to let them go. It broke my heart, because there was very little we could do about the situation. The inspectors gave me an ultimatum. Either let them go, or they'll close my business. I can't begin to tell you how much it affected them, because they lost money. And the biggest loss for me was their company. I found these guys. I advised them. I helped them grow. I watched the process. So to say that there was an emotional attachment and that they were like family to me is an understatement. So after being out of school for a year and a half, they now had to take the test, the cosmetology test, and pass it. Easier said than done. I mean, who's gonna remember all that mumbo jumbo they teach you in cosmetology school anyway? These two barbers suddenly went from making good money to all of a sudden having to remember things about fingernails and skin and facials, perms, curling irons, all kinds of nonsense that have nothing to do with being a barber. So without jobs and without income, these guys took 3 months to pass that exam. And throughout that whole time, I was miserable without the guys. That's why this particular day is so important. Fast forward to today. That gentleman is Burt Wildstyle, and the one holding the camera is Franco Faded It. And Franco thinks we're recording a YouTube video about an air compressor. What he doesn't know is that I'm about to act like I want to see a piece of jewelry I saw on the window. I had it all set up. The watches were already bought, and the salespeople already knew I was coming in with the guys. Everybody's in on it. Everybody's part of the plan, except for Burt and Franco, of course. I mean, just look at them.
This is very favorite type of thing.
Will they let me in?
Probably so many people.
Whoa. Enter Vinha's jewelry store. I discovered them online, went to visit them a couple of times, and I appreciate that they have a wide selection of timepieces. As you can see, Franco's kind of nervous holding the camera. He doesn't know if he should be recording or not. And by the way, you see the gentleman in the back with the gray jacket on? We'll get to him later. But for now, this is how my little plan unfolded.
Excellent. Do you know who you spoke to?
Guys, this is a surprise. We're not picking up a compressor. We're not picking up a compressor. These guys got their barber's licenses. They work very hard. And I think that every special occasion should be commemorated with a watch.
Congratulations. I love that idea. Way to go.
Thank you. Wow.
Let's celebrate. Just 1 minute, Raymond. Do you know who you spoke with?
I spoke to everyone.
Oh, you spoke to, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Victor said he was going to have his next video.
All right, I'm Paulina.
How you feeling, man?
Do you know the brand of the watches?
I'm sorry,
those
are they're single five.
Okay.
Yeah, we had no idea.
Nice, right?
Y'all really thought I was buying it?
He was like, "Oh, let's step in here real quick." I was like, "Okay."
Fun fact about me, I'm a big horology nut. I love watches. I appreciate the craftsmanship put into these timepieces. I know the history and background of the companies that make them, and I'm familiar with all the horology terms. So in attempts to share what I love with those I love, I chose 2 well-crafted entry-level timepieces for the guys, all from a well-respected company with a rich history dating back to 1881. It was absolutely crucial to have the guys present in the store. This way they could try on the watches and have them sized just right.
The sports watch number 1, the automatic number 2, the date.
Remember him? His timing couldn't be any more perfect. The guy that was in the store when we walked in turned out to be the official representative of the brand that makes the watches. He gave the guys a brief history of the company, the watches, and their capabilities. He even showed us his watch.
And why you have a sweep, it's because it's an automatic movement. So while you're wearing your watch, you're actually energizing it. You see this here, it has a rotator, so you're actually, as you're wearing it, you're giving your watch energy. So that's really exciting. So when you wear it, you're actually, giving it energy, so it's going. If you stop wearing it for, after the power reserve, there is a power reserve here, and once that goes, your watch will stop. But all you have to do is when you pick up your watch, you reset the time, the calendar, and you either wind it or start wearing it, and it starts right up. So you have no battery to change. So in the watch world, that's pretty incredible.
As an introduction into the world of horology, for the guys I chose the Seiko 5 Sports reference numbers SRP D59 and SRP D57. They both feature the in-house 4R36 automatic movement, delivering a 41-hour power reserve. The stainless steel cases are 42.5 millimeters with a thickness of 13.4 millimeters. They also have a water resistance of 100 meters. That's all Watch Geek material, but in short, these watches are fire. And now my guys are making a statement, not with the bright watches, but with the right watches.
You count, Paula.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, press like and subscribe.